good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you are joining us from. A very warm welcome to all of you to day 9 of the Global Sustainable Development Summit 2021 for unlocking the potential of SMEs for SDGs, where we will be focusing exclusively on SDG8, promote sustained, inclusive, sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment and decent work for all, and how SMEs can contribute towards achieving this global goal by 2030. To open the summit, we have with us Mr. Ferry Hoes to talk about decent work working humanely in a digital world. Mr. Ferry Hoes is an entrepreneur and the co-founder of Brand Humanizing Institute. Ferry, as one of the very few in the world, exclusively focuses on research on the intersection of humans and technology within organizations, in particular the role of automation and artificial intelligence. In 2017, he started to express concerns about the wrong usage of technologies such as automation and artificial intelligence within organizations and the negative impact it was having on consumers, employees, and eventually the health and growth of these organizations. Ferry has been accepted on behalf of the Brand Humanizing Institute to both the Dutch AI Coalition and the European AI Alliance, in which he takes part as an active member. These government institutions are both working towards the framework for human-centered AI, and Ferry is contributing to that goal from within different task forces in those coalitions. In November 2020, Ferry and his team won the Dutch government's Anti-Discrimination in Algorithms hackathon. He and his team focused on gender equality and anti-bias in recruitment algorithms and went on to find solutions to limit discrimination, not limited to gender, during recruitment while using AI. In 2017, Ferry co-created the term brand humanizing, which stands for a human way of working when using technology. Ethics, organizational growth, human-friendly innovations, and AI for good are just some of the topics Ferry and his team research and work at. Let me proudly present before you Mr. Ferry Hoes to talk about decent work working humanely in a digital world. Over to you, Mr. Ferry.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction and for having me here today. Let me quickly share my screen so I can get into my presentation for today. I want to talk about working humanely. Ferry, I'm an entrepreneur from Rotterdam in the Netherlands. I focus on working humanely with technology. Let me state that I'm pro-technology, but also very much pro-humans. I want to give a very striking example today of how technology and humans should work together, but also how they should not work together. I used to work as a growth hacker in marketing, and I used to use my skills in psychology, mathematics, as in algorithms, and technology like Facebook or Instagram, which was a way to create money for my clients. The way we used to do that was by measuring everything that we could. We used to measure people on websites or in stores. We used to monitor everything a consumer used to do. But the problem is that we forgot that consumers are actually human beings, and we started to see humans as actual data points. If we're talking about building a sustainable business, one thing that you need to keep in mind is that humans need a good relationship. They need a reason to purchase from a company. They need a reason to trust you. We basically lost all the trust by using experiments on consumers. We used to test things on them, A/B testing, and we used psychology to steer people a certain way. So back in 2017, me and my good friend and co-founder Jonathan, we were sitting at a local McDonald's and we were discussing this problem. And we figured out that if we're looking at a new economy, if we're looking at a new way of working, this is not a sustainable way of working. We are misusing data, we are misusing technology rather than having it assist people and make us stronger and better people and better companies. One of the striking examples that I have is an example of me personally from my insurance company. I know my insurance company has always been well known for servicing, and I know that they're very innovative, and they are also working with green energy, and they are working with great ideas for a sustainable future. But the one thing that seems missing is the relationship that they used to build with their customers. So what happened was that I used to have a very good relationship with my insurance company because they always helped me very, very professionally. So one day I was going to a concert and I had tickets and I couldn't go there. So I asked if it was insured, if canceling my ticket would be insured by them, because I have a cancellation policy with them. So I wanted to figure that out and I thought I'll give them a call. I went to their website and I thought, well, they always had a good relationship with me. I'll just give them a call and I'll get a quick answer. I tried to call them, but I couldn't find their phone number. Instead, they directed me to their chatbot. I kind of know this way of working, so I figured I'll just go with it and I'll use the chatbot. So the chatbot opened a window and it asked me, how can I help you today? I said, I have a simple question. I need to know if canceling a concert is covered by my insurance policy. And the reply that I got from the robot was, I don't understand. I gave the same answer, I asked the same question. I just used a couple of different words. I got the same reply. I don't know what you mean. And the robot asked me to make my sentence shorter if I could use keywords. And I thought to myself, I am not the robot. I shouldn't be the one using keywords. I should be the one using full sentences. But I complied. I used a couple of words saying, need information on cancellation policy, which led the robot to think that I needed general information about canceling subscriptions. It sent me to their sales website. I was kind of frustrated and I said, I want to talk to an actual human, a human being, which I knew of them. They were always very professional. So I got a phone number. They answered within one call, and I got this voice robot. And that voice robot asked me for my postal code. I said, it's 1234AB. And it said, I do not understand you. And I got very, very frustrated. Again, it pushed me through finally to a human being. And the human being said, how can I help you? I said, I have a simple question. There was a concert. I wasn't able to go. I canceled. I just want to know if I can get my money refunded through my insurance policy. And the answer was, I don't know. And I sensed that this person was using a script, basically the same script as the chatbot was using. And I said, well, can you at least tell me if there is an option to have that in your policy? If so, then maybe we should figure out if I could use it. If not, then don't bother. We can just end the call. And the person replied, I don't know, but use the chatbot, ask him, and he'll figure it out for you. So I got stuck in this loop of a human being working as a robot, not providing answers, and a robot not really understanding my question. So I had nowhere to go. This actually damaged the relationship that I had with this insurance policy, this insurance company, because like I said, I used to talk about them very positively. I used to say that they are great in building relationships. They are very, very service-minded. And now they've kind of switched to being very efficient, quick, but not really open to their clients, which frustrates me. If they used my personal and our philosophy correctly, they would have probably kept humans in the place where the relationship happens, and they would have used automation to help those humans get quicker to an answer. So what we did, and if you want, you can scan the QR code. It'll take you right to a PDF with our research, which is open sourced. We, in 2018, wrote this article with these frustrations, and we said, if we're going into a new type of economy, and we have the sharing economy, and we have many ways of creating a better economy, this is one thing that we need to keep in mind. We need to understand and learn how artificial intelligence, how automation, how technology, and how humans should work together, not against each other. Basically, each of us has its own place in a company. I have skills, you have skills, a robot has skills as well, but they are different than our skills. What often happens is that the power of technology gets overestimated a lot. Like I said in the example of the chatbot, they placed an imperfect solution in front of their clients. I'm not sure if it's tested a lot, but it's imperfect because the humans that used to work there were able to give me an answer within a minute. Now I went there, it took me 15 minutes, and I left frustrated rather than that I was helped by them. But what we also do is we underestimate the skills that we as humans have, and it feels like robots are replacing us at our jobs. I think that fear somehow strikes a chord, but it shouldn't be the truth. We should be in control of how we grow our companies. So what we did was we made a very basic understanding of the difference between humans and robots. This is also in that research. Robots, and I mean artificial intelligence, automation, any form of technology is great at making calculations and avoiding errors. And they can send automated emails and they can keep going for 24 hours a day. But that's not what a human can do. A human can have a genuine relationship. They can be creative, they can have critical thinking, and we can have a moral compass which we need in everything that we do. The problem is that if you put a robot in the position where a human should be, then you get actual errors. Then you get chatbots not understanding basic questions, not being able to help customers. So what we said is we need a philosophy where people can actually become a brand humanizer. Basically, everyone in every company could be a brand humanizer by understanding the importance of synergy between humans and technology. So if you look at the center says care. It means that whatever you do, you should care for the people in your surroundings, for your customers, your suppliers, for your colleagues and your teams. Everything that you do should happen from care, which also means that if you're implementing technology, does it take care of the people around you? If you implement a chatbot on your customer service in your insurance company, does it care for your customers? Does it not care for your customers and send them away without answers? So the reason we're saying it's branding is because everything a company does reflects on its branding. It's the same as a person. If I'm friendly, you will see me as a nice person. If I'm unfriendly, you might see me as a not so nice person. The same goes for companies and for brands. And that's why we say everything that you do should come from care within your brand. Also, it would be good if you understand the basics of programming and automation so that you at least know what's happening and the impact that your technology has on your surroundings. Not just on your environment, but also on your clients, on your suppliers, and on your teams. One of the most important things that we all need is emotional intelligence and ethics, which you can see on the bottom. The ethics is what we need in order to make sure that we're doing the right thing and not the wrong thing. If we use technology and it's biased and it inflicts discrimination and racism, it's unethical and we should not use it. We should either test it better and remove the bias, or we should not use the technology at all. And lastly is human sciences and research. We need to understand what moves humans and what humans need. We're moving into a different age. We have new generations needing new things, new impulses, and we need to understand what these are. So if you're coming from a core of care, you need to understand how to care for people and what other people need from you. And we need technology in order to enable us to be more caring rather than work against us. So how to do this in practice? It means you need to identify processes that can be automated to make sure that human resources can be allocated better, which means that if you have a job which is very able and open to being automated, then you need to figure out how humans can add value to your brand in different ways. For example, if you have the chatbot, I'd rather have you put a experienced professional human being there talking to your clients and have some form of automation help that person get to an answer quicker, maybe take on some administration they would have, just to make sure that the human can make that human connection. Because that human connection means that if I call my insurance company and I'm angry or frustrated or scared, I don't need a robot telling me I don't understand. I need a person saying I do understand and I'm going to help you. One other thing that we need to do is we need to be very much human focused. Everything that we do has to be focused surrounding humans. If we want to grow companies, if we want to have an economy that is sustainable, we need a different way of working. We can no longer abuse and misuse data and see human beings as data points that we can optimize for better conversions. We need to understand what drives people. Also, if you have people working in your company and you care for them and you make sure that they are led with examples and that they understand human behavior, automation, ethics, they're ethical and they care for their environment, they will actually create better results. It means that if you have a company that is affected by human interactions, you need to figure out what processes actually cross paths with the humans involved. So you need to figure out, how can I make the people around me happy? And how can I be more practical in being more ethical and more humane? Finding synergy is like creating a super team. If you have a team of 10 people and it's all the same people, you're going to miss out on skills and you're going to have an abundance of specific skills. But if you create a super team of people with different backgrounds and different skills and different needs, you will actually get a team that performs better. There's a McKinsey study that says that a diverse team performs 35% better than their non-diverse peers, which means that you need to do the same with automation. Of course, you can create a team of robots, but that doesn't mean that you have all the skills filled in. You're going to miss out on the human skills like caring, ethics, having that interaction, managing people, those are human skills that you also need. If you have a 100% human team that are working like robots, using scripts, not doing human work, you're also not going to get the best effects out of it. So you need to make sure that you assess the skills that you need, the processes that you're in, and then create that synergy by combining the best humans and the best robots. Like I said, we all have our skills, we all have our place in the entire chain. We just need to figure out where that place is and how you can find that synergy to create a super team. And that's all the time I have. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ferry Hoes. What an amazing session and what an amazing way to open this day of the summit where we focus on SDG8. I think we all have such experiences with automated answers and we all have been frustrated at one time or the other. You rightly said we need to focus more on ethics. You coined the term humanizing technology. Thank you so much for joining us today. We sure have a lot to work together in the future as well. Thank you so much for joining, Mr. Ferry Hoes.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.